What was the inspiration behind the detective role?
The main inspiration for the detective was honestly from looking back at the game's original roots. Among Us has been out for so many years and gotten so many updates, it's easy to forget what the game was originally about: social deduction. The detective is the embodiment of social deduction in Among Us, but given abilities that really allows them to focus on the core of the game. Players have asked for more roles that allow crewmates to fight back against imposters, and the detective is really great in this regard. If the detective gathers the right evidence to learn who the killer is, the imposter will really need to go the extra mile to prove their innocence.
Is the interrogate ability able to see through shapeshifter disguises?
The shapeshifter is actually a really strong counter to the detective. If a shapeshifter is disguised as another crewmate and is then interrogated, the detective can end up with conflicting information in their notes. For example, it can say that Purple was in 2 different locations on opposite sides of the map at the time of a kill. This can be really confusing for the detective, and they now have extra work to do to figure out which Purple they interrogated was the real one.
Since the detective is the first to have 2 abilities, does that hint at future imposter roles having multiple abilities?
We've prototyped a few imposter roles with 2 abilities, but so far none of them have really stuck. It's a tougher balancing act than giving a crewmate 2 abilities because imposters already have so many tools available to them. You know, like being able to kill, call sabotages, and hop in events is already a lot to juggle. We found that adding 2 abilities on top of this is just overload for an imposter. But never say never. If an idea just makes sense to have 2 abilities and it just isn't the same without both, then who am I to deny it?
If the detective proves to be too overpowered, are nerfs to the information received a possibility?
I wouldn't say there'd be nerfs to the information, but there are plenty of other levers and knobs we can work with to better balance the detective. We have a handful already in the development side of the build that we use when we're playtesting the role. If we find that the detective is too overpowered, then I would be open to releasing some of these settings so that players can balance the detective more on their side as well.